set, so I wrote it on my hand, like I'm treating in middle school. But now I got a little sweaty because I got a little nervous, and now it's really hard to read, so it's going to be an interesting set. Can you make sure that that's recording, by the way? I'm a little unsure.
You're good.
Yeah, oh good, so we caught that. So I'm a woman, and I love being a woman. Does anyone else?
Yeah.
Woo! Yeah, pretty much just me. Every time I've done that, literally just me. But I love being a woman. Like, despite the catcalling and the being fearful for my life when I walk down the street and all of that, I think what really makes up for it for me is like the female friendships. Like, yes, oh, there's nothing better than female friendships. Like, I love it. And I've always felt bad for men growing up. Like, I remember like looking at the boys and thinking like, 75% of straight male friendship growing up is really just trying to prove to the other guy you're not gay. Whereas like I've made out with like 85% of my female friends. And like if I haven't made out with you yet, I'm probably going to. I feel like my dating life has always kind of like 10% revolved around getting to know the other person, and then like 90% revolved around my low self-esteem. And I think that kind of comes from like back in school, people thought it was really funny to ask me out as a joke. Like I was so hideous that it was like hilarious that anybody could like ever be interested in me. Which thanks for the emotional scars. But so it like had a weird effect on me where like even in my adult dating life, I would feel like I needed to reject people before they could reject me. So I'd be at dinner. And the guy would be telling me about himself, and the whole time I'd be like, can't seem too interested, he can't think I like him, I don't like him, I'm the most disinterested of all. So, it's great. So, I actually, I did a lot of online dating in my time, and I think online dating is so weird to me, because it used to be like this shameful thing. Like, you used to like place ads in the newspaper, but you pretend it wasn't you, and then like even when Match sort of started, everyone was kind of like embarrassed to be doing it, and like even if you found out your friend was on Match, you'd be like, you're gonna meet someone on the internet? Like, are you crazy? You're gonna get murdered. And like now it's like, you know, I'm on Tinder and Bumble, and one time I fucked a guy I met on Twitter. It's ridiculous. But everyone is afraid of being catfished. Like, I don't understand catfishing at all, because people choose like these photos of these models, and then they still expect to meet the person and have a relationship, but don't choose a model's picture. Even if you are like decent looking or even above average looking, you've shown them a model, so when they show up and they see you and you're kind of okay, like they're never going to be impressed by that. For me, it's never been a problem like if someone put a picture that's too young or like a little thinner. For me, the problem is when somebody puts a picture that's like accurate but somehow still misleading. I met this guy once, and he showed up, and he looked exactly like his pictures, only he was like a miniaturized version of what I had been picturing. I don't know how he did it, actually. Like, I don't know if he knows where there's a lot of small trees, or if he's like a master of perspective, but he showed up, and we looked at each other, we had a shared look of like, this would be mutually unsatisfying. And I was thinking about it later, I was like, how could he have made his pictures more accurate? And I really don't think there's a way. Like, what is he gonna do, caption them actual size? But so, I found out a really interesting thing about my friend the other day. So he was with his girlfriend at the time, and they were talking about gorillas, and then he did a gorilla impression for her. And then a few days later, she came to him and broke up with him. And the reason she told him was that the impression of the gorilla was so good that she couldn't see him as anything but the gorilla. Now, I know what you're thinking, like that was probably just an excuse to break up with him, like that's probably not the real reason, but that's not the world I want to live in. I want to live in a world where my friend did an impression of a gorilla that was so fucking good that it ruined his life. Like, what's funny to me too is that like he's married now with a child. He's got a great commitment there. Still never done the gorilla impression for his wife. Like that to me is like the greatest definition of like a gift and a curse. Like imagine you can do the best gorilla impression in the world, but you can never share it with anyone. I'm gonna check my hand. What does this say? I actually don't know what this says. Have you ever been driving through the Midtown Tunnel? Anybody drive? No, probably. I've driven there once. So but in a lot of Ubers and stuff, I'll notice that the radio actually changes when you're in the Midtown Tunnel to a message telling you that you need to stay a safe distance back from everybody else. Like, keep a safe distance back from the other cars. I don't think that's necessary. I mean, I've never been in, like, keeping a safe distance from the other cars, then gotten into a tunnel, looked around, been like, enclosed space, lots of other vehicles, adult bumper cars! I think it's a little useless. So I have a weird habit that I've had since I was a child. I grew up with an older brother who could very easily beat me up. And so because of that, I had to find my own way of getting revenge, only it had to be passive. So I had started what I call ass vengeance, which means that like anytime he did something to piss me off, something of his from his room went into my butt. So by the time he left for college, pretty much everything in that room had been in my butt. Like, you know, his toothbrush, his pillows, his CDs. And I carried that into adulthood. Like if you've ever lived with me and you've pissed me off, I've probably put something of yours into my butt. Like I figure if you can't beat them, put something they love in your butthole. And I mentioned this to my mom the other day, and she was like, Allie, that's very passive aggressive. And I was like, Mom, I put the ass in passive aggressive. Yeah. That was me.